Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another review without Morgan. It's not just me, I should say. It's me, again, Mitchell, Purple Midnight 8, whatever you want to call me. And I'm joined yet again by my fiancée, Amelia, aka the Obsidian Nook, Petals ASMR, whichever you'd prefer.
That was ASMR and the Obsidian Nook. We'll just push the boat out there with both of them.
Push the boat, we'll push the boat out there for both. So now you know there's two.
Yeah.
There's two things. I don't know if I've mentioned it before,
If you want some ASMR, go to that one. If you want Endgame, go to the other one.
but I'll keep linking your Obsidian Nook. Anyway,
Yes, please.
we had the joy this afternoon, because it is currently 8:15. We had the joy of watching a lovely little film called M3GAN,
Oh my
or
god.
M3GAN, if you want to use the title of it, because for some reason it isn't just Megan, it's M3GAN.
Mm.
But I think that was to do with the name of it. I think it was like Model 3 something Android.
Yeah, well.
In that case, it should just be Mega, because Android is just, it would just be an A. But yeah, we had the pleasure of watching that this afternoon. You've been pretty excited for that, haven't you?
So obviously for me, anything with artificial intelligence, AI, humanized kind of robots is right up my street. And for everyone who probably looks at my channel, you all know that I've reviewed every line of view, which is kind of similar with the AI stuff. So yeah, I was so excited.
Sorry, for all of us normies out there, what is that?
What's what?
What, every line of view, or whatever it is?
Oh, so every line of view is a book that is based on a girl who creates like Henry, who's like an artificial intelligence, and then he later gets the ability to like become a chip and goes into like a human. So Lydia and Henry can like be together, but it goes horribly wrong.
It sounds like a film called Upgrade. Upgrade is fucking weird.
It's again where it went horribly wrong at the end.
If we can find Upgrade on one of these streaming services, you need to watch it. Exactly. It's not horror, it's action, but it's all about a chip that like gives him his mobility back.
But it comes along the lines of artificial intelligence, kind of a robot. But the only difference is you've got Megan, who's a proper human robot,
An android.
But then you've got the chip android. If that makes sense.
You've got like an AI that isn't like in a robotic sort of shell, if you wish. So yeah, we had the pleasure of watching that this afternoon. Yeah, as I say, you've been looking forward to that very much, as you've just said.
I've been looking forward to it since literally last year when I very first saw the trailer. Before, may I add, it got memed the crap out of.
Yeah, the internet like has memed the shit out of this film.
Let's just go over that. So obviously, if you've heard of M3GAN and you've seen the trailer, you know the specific dance move of her in the corridor.
Yeah. Spoilers throughout, again, I'll get that out of the way because we're probably just going to get into detail. Honestly, these nothing aren't great anyway. There's not much to spoil because nothing really happens. Nothing happens that would surprise you. And you got I could say that with everything we've reviewed. People die, and the film has a very. It's very overdone.
This time. It's not choice, but we had three little mini tracks in there.
You said it was like a musical rather than a horror film.
It felt like, because I absolutely hate musicals, and it felt like I was at one point was like watching, and I was like, oh god. It
would have been fine if they just did the stupid meme bit of her doing Titanium, called it a day, but she did like 3 songs, or like 3 little snippets. As I say, spoilers throughout. But we'll get into that when we get into the details, because we'll do our usual like the film and go into how much I don't like it. But you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I kind of there's a part of me that wants to buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out just to add it to my collection, because it was kind of funny and a bit entertaining.
It was funny, but then as we said, it started to lose its scariness, if you wish. But it never really had the scariness to begin with.
But this has been rated 15.
This was 15, and when I found that out, I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it that much. Because you've got anything that's horror related that isn't like supernatural horror like ghosts and
Yeah.
stuff.
It was classed as a. When we looked at it, it was classed as sci-fi thriller horror,
Sci-fi horror.
but that wasn't really
There,
horror because there's no jump scares or
like
anything.
Act One had some horror, and other than that,
It,
it could very much have just become an action comedy by the end. Even then, it it ended up in something that a review I saw I have to agree with now. Is that it starts off really well with its like horror, but then concentrates more on trying to make the premise funny than actually scary.
mm,
And to do with you think, oh, so it's not scary, but it's still like a robot going around like terrorizing people.
yeah,
It's a bloody Peggy 13,
but with
15,
but
sorry.
with AI, gain kind of some sort of not consciousness, but they kind of
Sentience.
self-aware, aren't they,
Yeah.
of what they are?
But yeah, like you think a robot going around killing people is going to be a lot of like blood, be really precise killing
And
for
the
a
thing
robot.
is, they had such a good subject there because obviously,
The premise is
when
great.
you're talking about artificial intelligence, but then you've got her singing Titanium.
I know it's meant to be sort of comedy, but it very much just got turned into comedy.
Yeah, but there is apparently good.
Yeah, and they do try and set that up at the end.
Mm,
And it sort of gets set up throughout, but not really.
mm,
With that fucking Kurt guy.
sorry.
What was it, the boss's
Interesting.
assistant? Anyway, we'll get into the in-depth detail now.
The beginning is brilliant.
The brilliant intro.
Oh my.
Fucking hell.
Okay,
So
so
you get through all you.
there's quite a lot of us in the cinema, but we're all kind of right at the top of the cinema. It's kind of packed at the
Yeah, weirdly we were all like sat at the back. It was just like the whole back of the cinema was full, but all of the segments near the front were fucking empty.
If you're gonna sit in the cinema, you don't want to like have to crane your neck up.
It used to be middle or nothing because then you didn't have to move. Because
Like,
I remember when a lot of cinemas it was you look
Mm.
down when you're at the top.
yeah, but no. Now it's just as if not, you sit there and you crane your neck.
It's just like the front is where you sit if you've got no other choice.
Yeah, that's more of if you're no offense, but if you're disabled and you can't get upstairs.
Even then, you've got to go down a lot of flights of stairs.
They don't really have a lift.
No, they don't. It'd be easier if it was a ramp that goes up. But then again, if some fucking wheelchair person loses their grip and they fucking right through the cinema screen like a cartoon. Yeah, so I mean, I can see why it maybe would have worked better if we weren't in the UK for the fake out advert because you have all the adverts, but then with View, who we watched it with, it blacks the screen out and someone talks to you,
Mm.
and then it plays the film.
So we're sitting there and we're watching these trailers and we're thinking, right, fine. And then all of a sudden, there's like this kids' advertisement on.
It's
And
like a
this is where
kid's toy
we're sitting
advert.
there like, what the hell?
It's like,
we
oh
were
great, more
kind of-
adverts.
we were looking around the cinema like, what?
But it's like
But it ties into
it's
the
like
film.
This little girl, is, like in her backyard, and she's like, "Wow, I love my dog until it died." That's like fucking hell.
Over the dog, and
It's like a little cross in the ground.
oh my,
It's really
so
sad.
deep.
Oh, I disturbed the cat. Silver and Stasi, who was the cat in the thumbnail, he is with us as well. I disturbed
So it's
Silver,
like
who
you're
was
watching
asleep.
this film, and we didn't realise she started because we thought that I generally thought we were in the wrong showing, watching some
It
sort
was
of
really weird. It was
indication that there was no like you know when you get like starter credits like how you did in Halloween where like Jamie Lee Curtis came up.
well, Halloween had the like cold open,
Yeah, there wasn't
like because
really
Corey yeets that kid off a balcony.
there wasn't really an opening. It was just smack bang onto this kind of advert.
They weren't really opening credits, were they?
No, this is why we were all looking around each other because it was like, well, hang on, are we in the right film? Because we thought horror, and then you're seeing like this advert
This
for
happy-go-lucky
kids.
kids.
For
I did
kids'
get halfway
toys.
through writing Furby,
yeah,
which is the company where protagonists.
but obviously it ties into the film. But it's kind of when I think about it,
It makes
it's kind
sense,
of
and obviously they did try and make it a fun. With that
Mm,
fucking.
sorry.
Yeah, so they have that, and then it shows I will say, I feel sorry for this kid because, well, I don't care about the character, but this kid might get bullied a little bit in this video. I saw, and it wasn't her first acting credit. She could have done better, I think. I usually really don't like kid actors, so we open with after the video ends of the advert. It cuts to the back of a car with this kid who's like going up to, I think, a ski lodge. It's like revealed as later on.
Yeah, so Katie's going up there with her parents.
So Katie is one of our protagonists, one of our unfortunate child protagonists. She is portrayed by Violet McGraw, who's been in a few things, but there's a few things I know, but I wouldn't like what. No.
Yeah, I'll be 100%. All of the actors that I haven't recognised, watched.
I did, thankfully. It's not just like nobody people, but it is a bit like. I think when we looked at Violet McGraw up, I think she was in the Haunting series on that. I can't remember who the fuck she was. She was one of the kids. That's it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, obviously she's a child. She's gonna be. So yeah, it sort of cuts away. She then makes a load of noise, which is basically all her character does. I think she takes her seatbelt off because like it's really rough snow.
So well, it was because the toy fell down the back of the like behind one of the parents' seat.
Just had some technical issues, but here we are. So we were talking about how the
So the toy fell behind a chair. She goes, "Mother, a seatbelt," and kind of thing. And then the parents have a bit of a kind of verbal tuffle about how they can't see anything, how they should just sit in the middle of the road. And
they did. They thought
that was such.
They're like, let's not move to the left a bit. I mean, to be fair.
And then literally,
a snowplow quite slowly drives, pick up speed. Though apparently it picks up enough speed to kill the two parents. Find out later, and leave the child alive, but like not even in remotely critical condition. She's like a bit scarred. It's not that irritating.
So that's kind of like
that's like a cold open, you wish. So we then go to we meet the aunt who is called Gemma. She is played by Alison Williams, who is, I would say, you didn't know who she was, but she is most famous for playing the in Get Out. Who you didn't know who that was. I can't remember her name because I suck with names. I haven't seen that film in it. But yeah, we go there. We see that she's working on a creepy fucking robot skeleton. Sort of like not even like a prototype M3GAN. It's like a prototype of the prototype.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was.
So they're working on it. They put the silicon like face on it. And they try going through it, and then its face starts like playing up.
Yeah, kind of, because they get her to do like these expressions, like what was it, happy, sad?
Happy, sad. They went confused, and then it didn't respond to it.
Yeah,
but it was like looking around.
This kind of weird face.
Yeah. So then we meet the angry boss, whose name is David. He is played by Ronnie Cheng. He was in. I recognise him from somewhere, but I can't for the life of me figure it out. He was in Shang-Chi, which helps.
Yeah, I never heard of that film.
That's Marvel.
Oh,
that's one of their superhero films.
Oh, yeah. Now.
I don't remember him in it. I feel all. I don't know the main character.
Oh, okay.
That's not a racist statement, by the way. I don't know. Mate, that probably is where seen him in is in that. So we meet him. He's just angry. He wants the prototype and tells her to stop working on the. Sorry, I should say a prototype of the knockoff Furby. that they want to make cheaper because someone's making knockoff their knockoffs.
Yeah, it's just kind of like this whole competition type thing, isn't
Yeah. Well, it's the competitive market of a business.
it? Mm.
So we also meet Kurt, who is a pointless character who serves no purpose. He's like David's assistant, and he's like, "Wow, I thought the robot was real."
Yeah. He's like really trying hard to compliment next to the big boss.
Well, no, he weren't. He weren't like licking his boots. He was because the boss didn't want anything to do with it. Thanks, Kurt. Douchebag. Excuse me, I'm having a little sippy sip. So they then do another thing with the type. Um, and somehow that causes the head to explode. Does it start? I think they forgot to put something in. Start expanding and it's going.
Yeah, because he's like the other male. We forgot to put this other kind of technical bit in her, and then that was, without that bit, she needed that bit.
Gone.
And it was like, boom.
So that happens. We get the phone call from. I don't even know who fucking rings her. I think the hospital just does, and it's like, yo, this kid is in hospital, but she'll be fine.
Yeah, because Jenna kind of goes down the legal paperwork.
Yeah, she takes legal custody of her. Because that's where it's revealed that she.
Yeah.
Because of course. Just what we need is more of that fucking kid. But yeah, that was okay. That was fine. I don't see the point of it. I'm trying to read my notes. I wrote.
Yeah, we had very limited kind of very dark.
The fucking film was like mostly set during the day, but I couldn't see. So they go back to Gemma's house. It's shown to be. It's like got this knockoff Alexa called. This film is full of knockoffs.
That we off about this Jenna. Her house is immaculate. Like, you can't put a cup down without a coaster. It's like collectibles. You can't do anything. It's a proper clean freak. And I kind of get that, but when you're bringing a child into your home, you need to have a mess.
Yeah.
It just seemed really controlling towards, like, flush the toilet, wash your hands, do this, do that. The cup down without a coaster.
Don't be a cunt. Oh, yeah, bad language, sorry. Oh well, I've done it in the other one. It's too late. I said the C word. Da 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 da. So yeah, not fucking KD. I can't even remember if I. She goes to the house. She's like, "Why? I'm just gonna sulk the whole film." So.
Yeah, but
excuse me, fucking shit. Sorry.
Did kind of do it quite well.
It's not hard to just sit there. I don't know if she just didn't do a great job or her script was just like, look like you hate everything. So Gemma then goes into the basement and starts unpacking some of
the belongings of her sister.
Of her niece. Well, I think she's just unpacking boxes.
Because the family photo came out. Because he looked really.
Yeah, the dad in that looked like he wanted to. Like the mother and Katie were like happy, and the dad was sort of like, he looked like he was crying out for help. That was such a weird scene, and I don't see the point of it. Yeah, it's just for her to be
like, no offense, she kind of got really emotional over that picture, but I kind of feel like that they weren't close sisters just because, like, whether it'd be best for Katie to stay there.
Yeah, I think she said about going to.
Which makes me believe that two didn't spend a lot of time. Katie.
No, she does say to her. It's not implied. It's heavily implied they didn't really know each other, or like didn't have that sort of like sisterly relationship. We won't go in. Her sisters, eh? They're great. Um. So yeah, we meet. We'll go into that. We'll go into the. We meet the therapist.
Mm.
She sort of knocks on the door and it's like, who the fuck are you? You What the hell?
She won.
She's like, oh, I'm the therapist, and I put down straight away. I was like, she's. I said to you, I said it was like, it's one of them things where it's gonna be that Katie's getting upset, and that technically is like hurting her feelings, but not having any harm done to her. It's just that I thought Megan was gonna get really attached to her, and then not like Lydia. Oh, I already forgot straight away. Lydia. And then no, she fucking survives the film
Mm.
somehow. Somehow the therapist character survived without even like she wasn't even attacked.
Yeah.
She was pretty pointless. It was just a bit of drama.
Mm.
So yeah, that's as I say, that's when her sister is. We find out they weren't too close with each other. Then she comes into the house. They roll one of her. Lydia keeps looking a bit like where the toy.
Yeah, and it's like
It's
Katie
just
like don't have any toys.
Yeah, she basically like digs her into a big hole, being like this bitch.
Mm.
See, I must add quickly, she like only has a few cuts on her. Bearing in mind this was a car accident that killed her parents, she just had like a few cuts on her forehead for about 5 minutes. Like the makeup wore off. So yeah, they go into the basement. And she's like, "Oh," and then she's like, "What? Big robot!"
Yeah, so she gets really excited and high five.
Bruce is this absolute unit of a robot that I absolutely knew he was going to come back in some way because she's like, "Oh yeah, that's my robot. His name's Bruce. I built him in college." You built him in college, woman? This super sophisticated brick shithouse of a robot. You got building. Fuck. Who cares? And bearing in mind, she's not even like in her 20s. I don't know how Alison Williams is, but like, she's not young enough where like recently she went to college.
Mm.
Because like you'd think this fucking robot would be like a scrap heap by now.
Yeah. But I feel like we just need to step back, just the dog, because Katie does meet this dog that plays the important part.
When they first get to the house, the scare of a dog jumping at the window. We meet the douchebag neighbour, and there's a hole in the which is how the dog keeps getting in the yard. Keep that in mind. We'll get into that later on. But thank you for bringing it up. That was probably so. Bruce is introduced. We meet him. Well, we don't meet him. They sort of play with him, and then she's like, "If I had a toy like him, I would never need any other toy." So then,
and then she gets
Gemma
a light
like
bulb moment.
Gemma, where she's like, "I should fix Megan." And I have in my notes just Megan montage of her like fixing her. Sorry.
Yeah, so you just literally see Bill how she kind of works and that kind of thing. And the thing is, she's using Bruce to help make.
Yeah, they were because I must say the gloves are control, which is even more sophisticated than programming a robot as getting a robot to follow your movements. So she's got the gloves on and she's working on it. Do work. So yeah, she builds them. I must say there were a lot of scenes I just missed out of, either because I couldn't see or because they were so boring. But then we finally get the completed Megan, who is portrayed physically by an actress named Amy Donald, or McDonald, mix of only McDonald, and Jenna Davis, who does the voice. Which I'm surprised they could have just done an AI voice. Even a lot creepier. Well, they could have got the actress for GLaDOS, because her voice is fucking. So yeah, I put it. The next note is scary bitch robot because she just has these dead eyes, and I suppose that helped.
I think the thing is when they first did the promos for and you looked at, I think Annabelle is more creepy.
So's Chucky. Well, Chucky started off more scary. Then again, this is just a poor man's child's play, as I said. So, but yeah, she's scary. She's just weird. It's the eyes.
Her eyes are bigger than the average human eye.
Yeah.
Open.
So the two of them start getting along, and then Gemma's like, "Oh, we could sell this as a toy to the world," which again sounds like child's play.
But obviously, with artificial intelligence, Megan.
She's programmed that the longer she spends with
Katie.
Yep. This child. The more she spends time with her, the better she gets to know her.
Yeah.
Which is sort of like the driving point. She decides, oh, I can take her to work, and I can use this to my boss.
But then also to look after Katie, so Jenna do any work.
Yeah, that's basically. I don't think that's officially what it's for, but she's like.
Well, you
that is heavily implied.
Well, when she was being that kind of implied that she's not really good at being a mother figure. She doesn't really want to either. But
she did. She was very hesitant. But
for Megan is the easiest because Megan knew what the right thing to say.
The easiest option because we can all build a fucking bro with a basement we don't have. But yeah, so she decides to take it to her work. Is Funky, which just sounds like a knockoff Funk. It just sounds like a whole knockoff. So she shows it to the boss. She's like, just a watch. So she sits down and she interacts with Katie. Megan, I should say. Megan shows up. What's up?
Is that where Megan comes in and that
I will draw you a picture. I will draw you a picture. And then she uses highlighters. She hands it over to Katie, and Katie's like, "There's nothing on this fucking paper."
And then it's like.
And then she's like, "Oops, they're not the wall."
And then it reveals this really kind of.
It reveals this
detailed...
perfect drawing of her, which I am calling bullshit on, even with her. And then that sort of gives the boss sorry, I have named him as well. His name is David. That sort of gives David this money boner. He's like, I can make so much money off this shit. And he literally says, we're gonna kick Hasbro in the dick. Which I mean, imagine. I can only imagine the producers going up to the heads of Hasbro and being like, "So, that's Haribo. Hasbro is the toy company. Haribo is the sweet." But yeah, I would like to think they went up to the heads and were like, "So, we want to use your company's name in our film. Would that be okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's okay." Just out of curiosity, what's the context of the line you're gonna? Yeah, we can tell you. You sure you want to hear it though? We're gonna kick you in the dick. And they went, "Fuck it, do it. Put it in the film." Oh my god. So they then go back, and then Megan. No, they go back into the lab in the basement to do a few more tests, and they find they can't turn her off.
Yeah, she kind of. This is where I think where she gained her, she knew what she was.
She starts getting involved in.
Yeah, and the fact that Jenna's turn off, and the fact that Megan's constantly looking for information and
yeah, she learns about death.
Yeah,
she doesn't know about. She starts research, and Gemma's like, "No, you shouldn't be doing that."
This M3GAN robot is getting very advanced.
Yeah, which obviously isn't great. So we get the fucking line that sets up that obviously she's going to go violent. Is Gemma says to her that you need to protect her from all harm that can come to her, basically. Physically, I think it's just sort of harm.
Yeah.
Which obviously then basically gives permission to kill, not kill her, but kill anything.
But there's kind of like a really weird obsession in this film with M3GAN and Katie as well.
Yeah.
Because like Katie doesn't want to be without M3GAN, but then realistically, because M3GAN's against herself somehow so much to basically kill, and let's not forget AIs don't feel pain, compassion. You know, they can look at it, they can bloody download it all they want, but they're never going to feel it.
They're never going to feel it really, like realistically. So they go. That's another of it. It just goes from like it feels like they only had like two sets. It was like house and then building because it was set in one place or the.
And then you had the ladies' house.
Well, no, you didn't even see her house.
But you saw her garage.
Again, spoilers. No, that wasn't her garage she went to. Because you see her later walking up the road. It was way too far. Anyway, so we go back to the house. M3GAN's playing, not M3GAN, Katie. It doesn't help having two, like, not well. One is a child, and the
but still a child, right?
But still a child robot. So Katie's playing with a bow, like a bow and arrow outside, and she's lost one of her arrows. So M3GAN goes to look for it. She finds it conveniently in the hole, which is obviously. Oh, what a surprise! M3GAN is then attacked.
And then literally,
Katie comes over going,
because Jenna's got her fucking headphones on, so obviously Katie's just constantly screaming and that.
Yeah.
And it's not until like I think that Katie gets bit.
Yeah, Katie gets like bit on the arm one.
The arm then suddenly comes running.
Yeah, then she decides to get off her.
Ooh, and that little M3GAN.
Yeah. When she's like all her hair's fucked and she's looking over the fence, like, even though that is like her face, you can tell she's fucking angry. You wouldn't think that you'd be able to show such hate through a doll's eyes. Yeah. But obviously that dog only bit her for the sake of protect her from harm. And obviously so she can kill the dog, which I didn't like. When they kill animals.
The other thing M3GAN can do is she can like, because she says straight away to Jenna, like, you need to go and get that disinfector because she's got a fever.
Yeah, the temperature's going up.
So she's able to see Kate.
She can like scan emotions and stuff.
Yeah, kind of see the panic. It's kind of really cool, I think, actually. Temperature.
It's an interesting thing to have a robot be able to do. Sorry, I yawned. But that was me through most of the. I'm glad you liked it because at least one of us did. So obviously they heal up. She then takes. Well, they don't heal up. She then takes. She takes Katie to bed, Gemma, I should say. And M3GAN recharges by sitting down, but rather than programming her eyes to close, she just sort of sits there with that stare on her face.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
I can't imagine like that kind of. Her eyes must be fucking dry.
Gee, this robot better not have dry. Yeah, so M3GAN then goes out that night and she uses the voice impersonation to.
She was really good at mimicking the dog owners, wasn't she? That woman. neighbour.
Yeah, I think I can't remember what name. I think it was Carly. I think was her name.
To try and like get the dog to come over. But you can still tell there's an android. It's not 100%.
You hear it's not. She hasn't perfected using the voice impersonation side of it because it sort of like crackles a bit.
But she's getting there.
Obviously, when she's using it on a dog, she doesn't have to.
Mm.
So she lures the dog over to the hole in the fence. It goes to like the dog's perspective, and it's looking through the fence. And it's like it's one of them shots that in horror films that really annoy me, where it's obviously setting up a jump scare.
Mm.
That's why when it finally came, I was just like, oh.
And then it was like, we all know the dog's dead, but you're not going to see the dog, death on.
No, there was no.
Or anything.
There was really no. It's just a matter of a horror film has been rated 15, so they show anything.
Mm.
So yeah, M3GAN kills the dog. I think the dog's name is Dewey.
Yeah, I remember going around being like, Dewey, 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 Dewey.
No, shut up. I can't. I think the police officer comes for the first time after that. I don't think the police officer.
But there's a constant.
That cop just come back 3 times in the film. It's like.
Because there's a constant like raft with Jenna doesn't want a dog on her property, like especially in business.
Yeah, there's a lot of it being like your dog shit on my lawn.
The neighbours take responsibility, keep the dog her land. So
basically, that dog got fucking wrecked because he deserved it.
But then M3GAN came and sorted it out. Yeah.
Yeah, there was more nonsense scene. It basically showed like, oh, we wanna market this to the world, so we're just gonna like invite a bunch of execs over to see if we'll get like green light in order to for like 10 grand, I think.
Yeah, so
something mad.
Each
dollars.
Sorry, I forgot we're in.
So that's about 400 million quid with the economy at the moment. Yeah. So they go to the presentation. Once again, I've just got in my notes, Katie only looks because what she does, frown on her face the whole film. They go to it. She sort of. They were thinking like, oh, is they going to be friendly? And then what happens is she literally is like, my parents. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so it's like M3GAN comes in. Oh, we're going to make paper flowers out of just paper and some elastic bands or strings. And then all of a sudden, Katie's just really upset and M3GAN kind of talks to her. And then, like, M3GAN gets Katie to share, like, a memory of her parents of a funny time. And then M3GAN's holding her chest and being like...
I've stored it here.
She stores it here. She literally plays it back to Katie. Being like, whenever you're sad or we want to... I genuinely thought that was a really sweet moment. It did make all people...
Does she sing then, or was that a bit later?
No, I don't remember any
I don't think she sings. But yeah, she basically gets the go-ahead from them. They're like, yeah, we'll do it happily. We go back to the house once again, because as I say, it feels like it's only got 2 sets. And they talk. There's the hot dog bit where she's like, dog.
Yeah, and kind of Katie and kind of playing. And again, they kind of keep between Jenna and M3GAN turn it off. M3GAN.
Yeah. And she's like, I want to talk to you. He's like, no. Whiny little fucking kid. Hate it. I swear all we've had on the reviews fucking hate. Because we had basically Corey and all the what.
So even as we're filming this, Stazzy's like,
what the fuck are you talking about? But Corey from Halloween, All the band kids in that. That's like,
Mm.
what was it? Black Adam, the kid in that. I didn't like the boy. But yeah, anyway, back on track. I said I have in my notes they're boring but realistic
Mm.
because it's just the most like dull topics, but it's what you would talk there about. And then we have our first ever singing scene. It isn't titanium yet, but I can't remember why she starts. But it is the most out of the blue bullshit I've ever seen. I literally have Megan sings, comma, what the fuck.
It's like you can't take it seriously. You know, they've just put some random singing, then you've got the dancing that got memed the absolute shit out of all over TikTok.
The internet memed this film and it deserved it. I think that gave it too much publicity than it needed.
Mm.
So we then go back to the office after that weird singing scene. We find out that they're willing to take on the M3GAN model, but it's just going to cost a lot. And then David goes over to where Kurt is sitting, and we find out that Kurt is a mole. He's a corporate spy, so he's selling company secrets and files. It's literally him on his little laptop, like transferring files over.
The other one didn't even care when
he goes up to him and goes, "Are you pornhubbing in the office?" And he slams his computer down. He's like, "No." I must say, there is an Auntie Donna sketch called Corporate Spy, and it is exactly that, where it's like, I'm not a corporate spy, no. I'm not doing anything illegal. And, like, David's just looking at him and he's like, okay. He's just like, I'm not doing anything, I'm just doing business things on my computer. May I just add, this literally does nothing for the plot. If it comes back in the sequel, which is happening, so I can say that, then yeah, okay. But if not, what was the fucking point? It's just like, oh, he's a mole, okay. that just shows up for him to die later.
Yeah, but you always get one of them.
So then Lydia meets Lydia's the therapist again, if you forgot one. She meets with Katie and M3GAN in that but basically the room in the showed off. She meets with them. M3GAN gets up in the background to get some tissues. I didn't even realise Katie had started crying in that. But she's it's that typical like scare of where they just suddenly appear next. And she's like, "You made her upset," and she goes, "What?" And it's like, "Oh."
She's like, okay. Was it?
Yeah, I didn't even realise Katie had apparently.
M3GAN's taken her role.
Yeah.
And I honestly that thought M3GAN.
So then we go back home again because 2 sets. Oh my god. They have a bit of an argument over dinner. Katie gets up to storm off, and so I'll keep scaring him when I wake him up for a pet. Bless him, he's a sweetheart. You sweetheart. So Gemma sort of grabs her just to be like, "No, don't go." And then M3GAN sort of loses her shit and flickers the light.
She can like really control her whole house as well.
It's clear by that point she's hacked. Because later on she starts hacking people's phones and like faking phone calls and stuff. So I think it was about that school trip they go on the next day or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like
which is an interesting.
I kind of felt like because they were looking for chess.
Yeah. So they eventually she does go because she takes M3GAN with her.
But M3GAN has to sit in the toy.
M3GAN has to sit on the toy bench, which was a funny shot of all these like headies and then just this horrific doll. It's just like, oh okay, Jesus. But we meet this. I don't even know if the teacher had a name, but she's really like, oh, hello there, little one. And it's just like, oh god, it's one of them, but I don't know where to shut the fuck up. But she's like, oh, who's that in there as well? And then Megan like, she's like,
But Megan's really crafty though, because she managed to get her. She's not far from.
oh, I just remember what all the audience laughed. So she's like, oh, you can come with us to Gemma. She's like, you can come with us. We need parents to make some sandwiches. So she's talking to this fucking annoying woman who, again, no, she did have a name. Her name was Holly, but arsehole son.
Mm.
She's like, oh yeah, my something that she's on about her son, and Gemma goes, oh, which one's that? And it's the one in the flannel shirt. And it is this kid. His voice was deep enough that he'd puberty, whereas everyone else was like these like preteens because he's got a deep voice. And he's like, she goes like, oh hi Brandon, and he turns around and goes, and he flips her off. That made the whole audience laugh because it was just like, why? So they're organising everyone into pairs, and then they obviously Katie then gets paired with Dickhead. I think his name is Brandon. So they then go into the woods looking for chestnuts for whatever reason. And then he basically like well, he doesn't attack her. He digs the chestnut into her hand, and then Megan appears out of the fucking like mist, like Slender Man.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Who the fuck is that?" And he's like, she's like, "Oh, that's my doll."
So they're kind of having a thing. It's just time, and she's like, she's not with you.
Yeah, she's paired to me, so she's not play with you. So he just picks her up and takes her away. So then he hides with Megan from Katie, and then sort of, it looked really bad. It definitely was assault.
Yeah, kind of because
he even took a shoe off.
This is the thing I don't like.
Is he about to like assault this doll?
That's what I was kind of.
I was like, they're not going to do this, surely.
They were implying that because it kind of felt like, you know, no offense, it kind of felt like he was going to.
Yeah, that felt like a bit much, but thankfully he doesn't, or he doesn't get that far. Yeah. Because she grabs his ear and rips it very slowly, like peeling off. It's rank.
So I think it's the goriest detail we get.
That was the most gore you get. It's like Stretch Armstrong looking here.
And he's like, he's
screaming his little fucking head off, obviously, because his ear's getting ripped.
And then she kind of comes to this thing where she kind of does this really weird move on her back, and she does this really messed up.
She like jumps onto her legs. So like from laying on her back, she kicks her legs up and then down and then back up.
Yeah, a bit.
It's creepy.
Bit like
it's like a WWE move. Sort of go like legs from the ground and then up and then down again, so they're standing.
So she does this like complete run at him, literally.
Well, she goes. This is start running. So he obviously fucking does. Can you blame him?
And then it's like, you know,
she like chases after him like an animal, like literally on all fours.
To the point where he trips over. He
rolls down a hill into the road and gets flattened by a truck, and all that's left is like his bloody shoe.
And Megan's standing there watching it unfold.
Megan's just like Lamau.
No facial expression.
Yeah. It's dumb. Well, that was probably that kid getting what he does, what was needed.
I feel like that was probably the most because of the kid was the most.
Of all of them, that was probably my favourite kill. Even though they were all shit, that was probably my favourite. Because the next death should have been better, but because it was at 50, it wasn't. So we then have this sort of some talking because the kid's caught and just Megan's in the car watching. She's like, well, Gemma's then like, I know it's really sad and all, but no, I need this presentation. I was kind of hoping that Gemma would die because she was like, this is my job, I need it more. Who cares about this kid? And by the end, I did think that. I thought maybe they would. But no, it doesn't happen. So the neighbour then, same police officer, bless him, he had a shit like few days.
Mm.
May I add the neighbour is played by Laurie. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name. I apologise if not. She visits, starts accusing Gemma of murdering her dog because she can't find it, which obviously we all know she didn't. But then she's like, check with that girl, like talk to that girl. And it's like, and then we get the scene, ladies and gentlemen. We get the titanium scene.
My
Oh my god, what the?
It's just random how she's just singing to horror film.
It's not even like a creepy song. It's fucking titanium because it's like, haha, she's a robot. Remember? No, it's dumb. She sings titanium for no reason, and then she goes. We go back outside. We see the neighbor like walking up and down the road, and they're dressing. And then she comes across this old, like, dilapidated shed, or whatever in America call it. Not even like a garage. I don't know. I don't know. It's a building in your garden, gardening equipment and shit, and you wouldn't call it a shed. That's too English of a word. I know the word, but I can't think of it. Anyway, not important. She comes across it. She goes in because for some reason, and Megan is impersonating the dogs. Then she sort of like slinks up out of the shadows and like the neighbor's like, what's going on? Never mind, like, what the fuck? It's just like, what's going on?
And this is kind of like where that bitch of a
She gets her comeuppance.
Can we just say that her gross?
Well, Megan comes up with a pressure washer, or not even a pressure washer, and it has like enough strength to like send her flying and slam against the back.
After having her hand being now.
Yeah, she's then like crawling away, and Megan shoots a nail through her hand to pin her in place. And Megan then puts chemicals into it and
that was enough to kill her.
That was enough to kill her, and you don't even see it.
You
don't see it. It just like cuts the blood going down the drain like Psycho.
And then it.
That cop comes. No, a different cop comes up. He was a complete douchebag, and he's like, "Can you just tell us where you were?" Or like, oh, she said she was looking for a dog, and she was like, they say something, and he's like, "Oh, you can. We're gonna have a bit of an issue." But she did. It's like, oh, fucking hell. So yeah, that's just a shame. So then Gemma starts to get suspicious because she's like, oh, hold on. This isn't good. So she goes through, she's thinking, did Megan kill her? Obviously, as we know, she did. So she goes through the computer and finds, which is, because she opens a file on May 30th, which is my birthday, by the way, so that little fucking kid died on my birthday. She sees a video of the kid, and then it's convenient.
And she goes through quite a lot of it.
She goes through a lot of when the people So then she's like, "Oh, this isn't good." And then it's more of the hacking is revealed because not Alexa comes over like the speaker and it's like, "Are you okay, Gemma?"
Yeah,
And,
and she was
and then she's like,
Jenna's
"You
like,
shouldn't
you're
be-
not meant to
you're not
ask
meant to
that."
ask me that." And then like she shuts up. It's like, "What's
This is Jenna and Megan have a tough one. See, Megan's so obsessed with Katie.
And Katie's obsessed with Megan.
And this is where we had a little bit of scene where, you know, table, Megan's.
Is that there?
Yeah,
Is it really at that point? I thought that was
yeah.
over there. Yeah, she's like, "I will rip your fucking head off. You don't if she comes in this room."
She did actually mimic Jenna when Katie knocked on the door, though,
Yeah,
for like a split.
yeah, because she asks Megan like, "Have you hurt?" And then they have a bit of a tussle upstairs. So that was a bit.
So obviously, Megan, that at that point that she has killed those people.
That's when she comes to the conclusion, like, yeah, she's mental. We need to go like sort her out.
Mm.
So they go. The next day is like the presentation day, but there's one more little therapy session, and you know, Katie gets violent with it.
Mm.
Oh, when she throws the chair at like, and she just gets really loud. She grabs it. Does she? What does she grab? She grabs something sharp. I think they're scissors. And then Gemma comes in and is like, "Oh, that's enough." And then she slaps the bitch.
Mm.
She literally like slaps her across the fucking face.
So I think this is the moment when just mentioned a few times about
Attachment theory, I think it's called.
yeah, that was it. How Katie was, you know, in life with Megan all the time, and I think this is when Jenna's like, "Shit, I've made, you know, a robot who's capable of so much more, and a killer robot."
Yeah. So then they just decide to leave.
Mm.
I will add that they managed to put Megan like containment bit in the lab, which is some hooks. So they just leave Megan there. They just fuck it.
Yeah, they like leave her to the other two. Jenna takes Megan back home, and that leaves the other two people to watch Megan.
What do you mean takes Katie back?
Takes Katie back home, which then leaves the other two people.
Yeah, because she phones Tess, or Tess phones her, which is one of her friends, and that's revealed to be Megan.
Yeah.
So then, I didn't write that in my notes. I think it was so dark I couldn't write it down.
A miniature explosion scene of when.
Yeah, so Megan like escapes. I thought they were actually going to kill one of these because she wraps a cable around Cole and like hangs him for a minute. But Tess manages to cut him down as Megan like escapes, but she stabs him conveniently placed like explosive, like a fuel tank. And then Cole's like, "What's that smell?" And it's like, boom. They survive. This whole room goes up in flames.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. But then David's trying to ring Gemma to find out what the hell, where she is and where Megan is. And he turns the corner and she's just stood there and he's like, "What the fuck?"
This is where the meme comes, like when she was in that way.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was just to distract him, but he wasn't like, "Okay, no." But then she picks up like a paper trimmer, I think it is, basically like, it looks like a fucking machete.
Yeah, that was really weird.
And he's like, "Oh, I had run." But he's like yelling for security. Like, what do you want them to do?
And it's the fact that he ends
up in the lift where Kurt the assistant, the Pornhub, and he's just like, he sees the draw, like Megan behind him, and then David gets to it. He puts his hands into clothes and then gets stabbed through the back. You do not see the blade. You do not see the money shot. He gets stabbed through the back and sort of just goes, and like
And
there's blood
dies.
on his shirt and falls down dead.
And then
it's just like, it's like, wow, great.
And then he's in there.
Kurt's in there like crying his face, crying his eyes out.
Megan's got it all.
Megan's like, oh, you've been stealing company secrets. I ain't gonna keep doing that voice. That'll get very irritating. It's like, oh, then your boss found out and it got violent. And then, like, she just forces the blade into his neck anyway. And it's just like, wow, that could have made such a more interesting. Because, like, it's meant to look like a murder-suicide. But, like, I'm fairly sure well, they're gonna see on the CCTV that she just chased down a stabbed him. It's not the greatest, like... I didn't figure that when we watched it, but now I thought about it, it's like big office building where so much of that goes on. There's going to be CCTV everywhere. But like, they're going to look on the system and see this fucking robot just went nuts. It would have made so much more sense if they just kept that Kurt guy alive, let him suffer. And then he could have come back in the sequel and it would have made sense, but no. So... where am I? The frames Kurt and kills him.
Yeah, because
so Megan then escapes into this like electric sports car because of course it is. You can hack shit, and then off-screen returns to the house. So Megan returns to the house. No, that's when the fight is. That's when she fights Gemma.
Oh,
because she's playing the piano and then gets out. Sorry. This person thought she was clever, but she forgot. So, yeah, that's when that fight scene happens. They go into the basement. They have a bit more of a fight. Megan eventually gets the upper hand, because of course she does. She's a robot. And it's like... Gemma's like, oh, that'd be going against your plans, because if you kill me, then... what are you going to do? I don't understand. She's then like, oh, if I stab you and you're like a part of your brain, you'll be powerful. You'll have to.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Seeing portrayed, but you know, it kind of gets interesting because not only Katie can now see Megan for what she really is.
Yeah, because Katie comes in and Megan. They do fight and Gemma uses, I believe, a hedge trimmer to like saw part of their head off. So she's got this big like scar across her face. Not Katie.
Yeah.
And then Katie comes in and Megan's like, see this. And she goes, there's one part member of the family you haven't met yet. And I thought, who the fuck is that? I thought, what character is going to come out of nowhere? It's me, Uncle Stephen. I was in this film the whole time, but no, it's Bruce, because of course it's Bruce. Somehow she slipped in and grabbed the gloves and then left again. Classic effect. So they fight. Megan absolutely kicks the shit out of Bruce, kicking his head off. But even though she kicks his head off, Katie using the gloves manages to have Bruce rip Megan in half and yeet the bits out the way.
But even after doing all of that, still in half, she still...
Megan then crawls out from underneath, like, a bookshelf, and then, like, starts strangling...
Jenna.
Yeah, she starts strangling, She starts strangling Katie first, and then Gemma uses Bruce's head to knock her off. And then she starts strangling Gemma, and then... Gemma somehow manages to pull like the silicone face off, so it's just like the circuits underneath, and importantly, her processing core. I'm not a tech whiz, but it's whatever keeps. So then, Katie then grabs a screwdriver and stabs her right in the face. Stabs Megan in the face, essentially killing her. And that's basically how the film ends. We sort of get like the police arriving with Tess and Cole, and then we see. I will say now, no post credits. but they go outside and you see the not Alexa turn on, which
That's
is
kind of like
sequel bait like fuck.
that's kind of their version of, because you know like how Alexa can control.
It's a smart system, your smart speaker.
I think that's where Megan's soul is.
It's basically to show that they want, well, for plot reasons, it's to show that she's still around, but it's so that they can get a fucking sequel out of it.
Mm.
I will watch the sequel with you for the sake of it. Other than that, I'm not watching it for my own person.
So all in all, I think the film was kind of stupid. The stupid dance scene and the singing. When you've got such a great topic as to,
They had such a strong premise. They could have done something so much better with. It's as simple as that. They could have really gone.
I mean,
And good grief, make it an 8. If they're doing a sequel, make it an 18. Don't make it a 15. That made it crap.
Quite well. We all know that we all talk about AIs.
It's a realistic horror.
No,
What could happen?
if an AI is out of control, beyond human, and it get as clever as it does, and it can become a killer, and all, they kind of portrayed that really well, I feel.
Even though it's been overdone already, of like robot become bad guy, robot become sentient, blah blah blah. Also, the cat has fallen asleep with his head on my hand. But yeah, as I say, the kills were fucking awful. They really could have done with an 18. I mean, it gives you a smaller audience, but calling it a horror film, other than like the fake out scare with the dog and killing the dog, there was no horror.
Yeah, there was.
It just became too much of a comedy.
I mean, I get really, really bloody. The fact that they called that a thriller horror, and the fact that I didn't even get scared once. Like, well, this is a bunch of that.
Yeah. So the kills, all of them off screen. There was no money shot for any death. Like, obviously the parents just sort of. It's one of them where it just shows the impact of it, and they sort of like go, whoa, and then nothing else. There's no like mangled, crushed, snow-plowed bodies. So there was the parents, there was the dog. The dog completely just. He literally gets grabbed by Megan, and you never see it. And she's like, "Oh, he's about 45 feet that way, about." Which was
a bit too accurate, that one.
The voice or the.
No, when he's given the location of the dog and.
Yeah, she's a running. She'll remember, won't she?
Bloody hell! I can't even remember what I had for breakfast.
So parents, dog, and then it was that little fucking kid that got what he deserved. Then the neighbour, and then Kurt and the boss. They died. Well, I know they died, but they died. Kurt and the boss, and then if you want to count Megan as a death, I don't know. She's a robot, technically.
She's not human.
Sorry, dead meat. That don't count for your rule.
Feel empathy.
Technically, she wasn't alive, even if she got. I want to try and add a thing, not to knock off dead meat too much, but like favorite kill in a horror movie, and like least favorite.
I kind of, if you like AIs and you something, a TV program watched a few years back, they had 3 seasons for human robots being aware of themselves, which is Humans, that was on channel.
Or go play Detroit.
No, I feel like if
Detroit isn't horror, but if you play Detroit, or you can go watch her playthrough on her channel. You can do that too. So yeah, favourite kill. That's not really much to go off of.
Mm.
Do you even say what the TV's
So it's humans,
humans?
and they did
I remember
three.
hearing about that.
Yeah, they did season 1, 2, and 3. Become aware, and this is
Or
when.
watch a show called Westworld. That has a lot to do. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So favourite kill, not much to go off of. I probably have to say the kid. The kid getting flattened, just because he was a little fucking bastard. I mean, it's not great. It's still not great because it's all off screen. But
I just feel like
wow, it's gone. The ear, like the build up, his reason for getting killed, the dick. Like yeah, easily best kill. That comes close with the neighbour, but because most of that was off screen and didn't matter. Least favourite kill can go to every other one screen. It's just like, oh, they're all dead. So yeah, I'll go to my usual sum up. The acting was fine from everyone except for Katie. I don't know if that was just because of like how she was written or it's just how she was acted, but that character wasn't. I think the actor for Megan did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I think she did a good job of playing like a robot, but that's not hard. Just don't change the emotion in your voice. I keep waking the cat up, bless him. I'm sorry. Don't be deaf, and then I'll be able to wake you up. I'm like scaring you. Anyway, cinematography was very basic. There wasn't any like standout shots where I was like, wow, that was incredible. I was like, what a unique shot. No. I was just like, anyway, next shot of close up, long shot, close up, long. The acting was fine, as I say, from everyone else. Good, best performance was easily. Yeah, overall, do we want to give a rating? Do you want to do yours? Get your positive one out.
I think personally, if you're gonna go and see it, you're gonna see it, then go and see it for an AI. But personally, I wouldn't take the film. Toy commercial and the random dog. It's a film that you just.
It's a film you've got to watch for.
It did let me down a
Watch
little
it for
bit, but if you can take it, like.
What out of 10? What would you give?
probably about.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of all that negativity, you're still like 7.
Yeah, because I kind of did enjoy it, and it is a film that I would like have a DVD collection.
I was going to say that. I was going to say before you did your rating. That should be how you judge it. Is you should say, "Will I get it on DVD?"
Yeah. If I'm if I.
That's how you judge it, though. You come out.
It's like when I saw Avatar the other day, and I took stepdad to go and see it. I knew that I was not going to buy that on watch the film. I'm not going to rewatch the second one. So yeah, that's how I rate my films now. That I'm not going to own them on DVD, or I'm not going to watch. It doesn't get a positive from me.
No. And now we get more fun number. This will either shock you or it won't. 3.5.
Oh,
Maybe a 4.
really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I think.
Really that bad?
Well, I didn't like Katie.
Hmm.
I didn't. Did you see this from? Because I'm a piece of shit. I'm one of those guys that watch it and I'm like, yeah, cinematography, acting, all that. Yeah,
What it's to sit in the cinema with him, like especially today. And I'm like, I'm trying to watch this film and enjoy it. Will you shut the fuck up?
Wow, thanks.
Oh, I was waiting for somebody else behind us to be like, shut the fuck up.
You wanted to review this.
You have took your notes silently, you know.
I did. But I was also giving you... You were looking at my notes and going, yeah. So sharp. And then you'd lean over and talk to me as well. So sharp. We love each other, really. But yeah. 3.5, maybe 4.
Oh.
I didn't...
There's
I
a part of
thought...
me excited about
Didn't
that.
like... The cinematography was nothing special. Fine. I did like the effects for M3GAN.
You see, you think I'm a judger. He's worse than me. Like, I can go and see a film. He's going to comment on every...
Well, if you're going to review it, you have to. You can't just be like, I went to cinema and I like...
I'm just sitting here like, AIs, robots, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it very much.
Oh, it's a shame.
Well, at least we can say we watched it.
But if anyone's working on the second one and they want to invite...
Even better, put us in the film.
I'll give you some positive feedback if it's AIs.
I mean, again, put us in the film. Be funny. We're
What
happy to
you
just
think we can do better.
Yeah. No. No. I mean, it was clearly a passion project that someone thought of and was like, it could be good.
Mm.
It's just the execution wasn't all there. And I think if it had an 18 rating, at least for the kill. Because I think we've probably rated Halloween. Because at least Halloween Ends had that physical effect, like the practical effects of gore. I really don't care after the last one.
I've been doing it every year, especially with my mum, and the fact is the last one was last year, and now we're not going to have... Can we have a moment?
What for Halloween? Can we not have a moment of silence for Corey? Fuck that Corey cunt. So yeah, that was our summary. As I say, I didn't like it. I found everything mediocre. There were a lot of things I didn't like. Honestly, just watch clips of it on the internet. Just watch the memes. It's better than sitting through 100 and something.
Oh, sit for 100 and something. Be worth it.
Sit through it. Give the production companies your money. So yeah, that was our thoughts. That was the. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me talk about. She enjoys.
I think I was the only hope on giving it constantly dragging it down.
What? It's nice to have positive and negative because you see that. So yeah, those were our thoughts. Hopefully the mic didn't pick that up. It was the cat. Yeah, thank you. We don't know what film will be next. We'll probably get Don't Worry Darling up.
Yeah, so we have Don't Worry Darling, but we
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey next month. I think me and Morgan will probably be Bullet Train.
And Batman.
And the three of us, hopefully, if he gets his ass online to record, we'll do the Batman from last year. And we'll probably just go through the DVD clip. Decent. Also, please go watch the Santa Sleigh review. If you want us to take the piss out of a low budget with Santa played by Bill Goldberg, check it out. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in and listening to us. We'll see you next time.